Garmin DriveSmart 60 LMT. For those interested, that's what we got. 60 LMT, latest software version 6, which is bumped one ahead of the DriveSmart 50, which is still at 5.9. And I had to fight to get this to work. I just got it today at the time I record this. This is a 50 in a 6-inch version. It has a resolution of 800 by 480, and while the 50 has a 480 by 272, it is more or less identical. I think, yeah, it's identical to the 50 LMT HD and the LMT, just with 6-inch and the 800 by 480 display. Now this is most people are familiar with the 61, which is dramatically different from this because the 61 has edge to edge for its screen, and I believe it's 1024 by 600 resolution. This does not have edge to edge. This is the one right before. It's a very short-lived model that only lasted for 1 year, from literally January 2016 to January 2017. That's why you really don't see these all that much. I got one because I like the 50 so much. I just wanted something bigger in a 60 version. And like I said, it was a fight to get this thing to work, because and that's the more or less the reason I'm making this video. When I received it, the software version, I'll go back to that screen just so I can show you. The software version 6 was actually at 4.1, and the maps, now I have in this the latest and greatest 2022.1. The maps that came with this thing was 2016, which basically means it was bought and never upgraded. And it also had the original battery, which I have right here, and there's a reason it's out, which I will tell you in a moment. So yeah, it's not focusing, but it is part number 3610056-01. You can mostly read that. I grabbed this out of a new V50 because, well, it works. And it's got the little white connector on it and everything. Okay, when I first booted this thing, oh, notice this up here. This is the main reason that I bought this thing, is that the exit number is more legible compared to the 50, due to not only the 6-inch display, but also the 800 by 480 resolution. It is easier to read. And I do like the DriveSmart 50 that much, to where, yeah, I decided to get the 60. I got it because I wanted the legibility, and so far it's working. Okay, let's talk about that fight I keep alluding to. Okay, so I get the thing, I boot it up, and it did boot. But shortly after that, there were lines all over the screen, and it kept rebooting over and over and over, and I'm like, oh no. Now, while I do have 30-day return on this, I bought it from eBay from a very good seller, and the return is free, because I paid $12 shipping for this thing, so yeah, it better be free to return it if I have to. But anyway, so it works, but so I boot it up, and it starts doing the reboot thing over and over and over again. I'm like, oh no, here we go. So I couldn't get the, I figured it was a software glitch at first, because 4.1 on the DriveSmart 60 is bad. You got to go up to 6. This is, believe me, if you haven't updated yours, you got to update it. Now, I have encountered situations before where I will receive a unit. As a matter of fact, when I got one of my 2555 LMTs, this is exactly what happened. I would, even plugged in, I would hit the power button, nothing happened. So what I would do, just based on previous experiences, I would just plug it in and let it sit. And I know at some point it will just magically start up on its own. Well, it's not magic, because the battery is so unbelievably dead that it doesn't even have enough for a charge to start the unit. You cannot start one of these without a battery in it. So if you're troubleshooting one, like I took the battery out of this thing and I said, okay, let's just see if I can power it up without a battery in it. And sure, it will power up, but then the screen comes on that says, that just shows a lightning bolt with a battery symbol on it. It looks like that up here. That symbol, except a lot larger in the middle of the screen, will come up. Meaning, yes, I will boot, but I will not get into the main menu, which sucks. So I said, okay, well, gotta take a risk. So then I'll see if I can get this on camera here. I don't know if I can. Okay, this is the 50 that I took apart. Yeah, this is a parts unit, and yeah, there's been some damage to it, and this thing has seen some stuff. But had a battery in it. I use it for parts. But had battery in it that I know it was still relatively good. Not perfect, but good enough. And I know that the connector is the same where the new V50 will and new V40 will work in the DriveSmart 50 and 60. So I was like, okay, let's do that. And sure enough, I got the thing to work. And then I was able to apply all the updates, and there were a ton. I had to do the system software, firmware, traffic firmware, time zone map, main map. It took about, oh God, better part of 2 hours, something like that. It was a lot. Normally it never takes that long to update one of these things, but when you get one that has never been updated since it was bought, well, yeah, there's a lot of updating involved. But so far, it appears that I have saved it, and I will be able to use this thing regularly, which was the whole point. And don't be surprised if you've actually never seen a DriveSmart 60. There were 3 of them, as a matter of fact. There was a DriveSmart 50, 5-inch DriveSmart 60, this one, and the very uncommon DriveSmart 70, which is a 7-inch screen. The 70 LMT is exactly the same as this, same 800 by 480 resolution and a 7-inch chassis, 7-inch display, excuse me. And yeah, that's a big one right there. That is a big guy. But in this one, if you've seen the 50, and I've shown the 50 in the other videos, this is the same thing. It's got the Bluetooth in it. If I hook up a GTM 60 traffic receiver, it totally works. When I did that, it worked first try. After I got everything updated, oh yeah, this thing worked a treat. It was great. And I took it on a test drive to a local supermarket, and yep, no problem whatsoever. Searching for things like addresses and such, it's no different really than the newer ones, than the DriveSmart 55 and 65. I might as well just explain, well, with the 55, I had that, I returned it. And it's not because it didn't work. That was not the issue. It was actually a very simple thing. Well, it sounds like something very, almost, why would you complain about such a thing? But to me, this matters. Okay. In my favorites, in saved, I have categories. These are places I go to just to play lotto tickets and whatever. And this is like, if I look at it, they're just like gas stations and supermarkets and so on. And then I have my regulars, and then I have visited, which is actually what I do is whenever I go to a place, I will go to the place and then I will edit the place. Like I'll go into it and just edit this, and then I'll change the category from this to visited, which moves it effectively here. So this is where I haven't been, this is where I have been. Does the DriveSmart 55 do this? Yes, it does. But there's something else about the 55 and the 65 that this was just infuriating to me. I can go into settings, and what happens is that I can go to, is it map and vehicle? Hold on. Yeah, map layers. And I can turn off the up ahead places. You can do the same thing in the 55 and the 65. But see, here's what happens, is that every single favorite, every single saved place you have, when you drive by it or are in close proximity to it, will appear on the map. I don't want any of them on the map. I just want it as a list I can refer to. And on the 50, 60, and 70, the icons do not show on the map, which I want. I don't want these icons on the map. I like my map clean, no clutter. What you see is the way, as a matter of fact, most of the time I drive it like this. I'll drive around just with the cleanest possible display I can. But I'll bring up my turns and whatever sometimes, and then I'll just do trip data, which is how I normally run it. But sometimes I don't even use the trip data. When I was using the 55, there's no way to disable the favorites icon. And as a matter of fact, there's no way to disable the favorites icons on the map. They're always there. Even if you go into your map layers and say, I don't want to see any of it won't show any of this, but when your favorites are concerned, they always there, but not on the 50, 60, and the 70 DriveSmart, which is why I went back to it. And I said, okay, yeah, it's got annoying animated banners that appear sometimes. I deal with it because that is actually less annoying than having to deal with favorites icons that show on the map all the time, no matter what. And see, here's the thing. Normally that doesn't bother people, but it bothers me because when I have my locations, a lot of these, see how close in proximity some are to each other? So what happens if you got a bunch of favorites marked and you're driving through somewhere, you will have all this clutter all over the place. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I can show you an example of what that clutter will look like. Let me see if I can actually do this. Yeah, if I do up ahead, is it going to show me any? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll save that. And I'll let the map run for a while just to see what happens. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm so glad this happened. So, just imagine if you had a bunch of favorites and you have the up ahead, and all this crap, this garbage, is all over the map. This is ridiculous. Now, you can go into, and the same thing, again, if I go into map layers, and I just say, get out of there. Clean map. Good. That's what I want. But with favorites, they still show up. Even when you disable the up aheads, the favorites will still display on the map no matter what. You can't turn them off. And that's extremely annoying. Now, if you only keep a couple of favorites, or like 10 or 20 of them, and they're roughly about at least 1 to 5 miles apart from each other, then this is not an issue for you. But it is an issue for me. Yeah. But when I went to a DriveSmart 55, with its lovely 5.5-inch display and edge-to-edge, and 1280 by 720 resolution, back down to a DriveSmart 50 5-inch with 480 by 272, and I couldn't read this that well. Yeah, that bothered me. So, hence, get a 60. Okay. And fortunately, the 60 operates exactly the same as the 50. That is the story of me getting this thing and actually working with it. So, there is a method to my madness. I am a GPS user, so to speak, I guess. I mean, I have a whole YouTube channel pretty much dedicated to just that. So, I've been using these things a long time. I like this a lot. And I will say this, they're holding their value, 6-inch models, even aside from the 60. Now I might as well mention the 61 before I end this. I had looked into a 61, and I said, okay, because that is an edge-to-edge with a 6.9 5-inch display, just like the 65. Well, I read some Amazon reviews on the 61, and it was not good. 61 was not that good of a model. 65, however, seems to be faring out to be much better. But again, I can't get. Oh, see, there's an example of the orange banner. Okay, that, yes, that is annoying. It is annoying, but ideal because the map is clean. The map is clean. And I really, really like that. So anyway, yeah, the 65. If it were a choice between, if I had to get one of the two, 61 or 65, it would absolutely be the 65. Any version of it, I think, yeah, that's definitely the better of the two. So, based on my experience with the 55. But again, favorites management and GPSs over the years, no one has ever come up with a good way. And I'm not talking just Garmin here. Garmin, TomTom, Google Maps, here we go. Magic Earth, here we go as an app on the phone. Magic Earth is an app on the phone. Now, Magic Earth, which uses OpenStreetMap, if you've never used Magic Earth on the phone, you might want to try it. Because it's not the best UI I've ever seen, but its favorites management is top notch. It's the only one that I've seen where you can actually do things like move from folder to folder easily. It's amazing. Renaming, editing. If you have a lot of waypoints, a lot of favorites saved, and you need a good way to organize them, Magic Earth is definitely best of the best. But it's still OpenStreetMap, so, which means that the online map search is not that good. But where your favorites are concerned, yeah, there is no better. And why am I still using a Garmin? You know, I'll make a video on that later on why I still use GPS right now in 2021. But the reason, sorry, I'm looking for my phone right now. Oh, duh, I'm recording this video with the phone. Duh. That's why I can't show it to you. That's funny. I have a 5-inch display phone. It's a Samsung Galaxy, and it's a nice Samsung Galaxy, but if I were to use something for use for navigation in the car, it's got to be at least one of those 6.4-inch display. Like an example, if you were to go with a phone, is a Samsung A50. That's an older model, but that is really nice. You get something similar to this as far as your navigation is concerned when you rock one of those. Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's a 6.4-inch display, so, and that's diagonal. Bear in mind, that's not horizontal. The horizontal measurement of that phone is about 6.25 inch. Horizontal? No, or the vertical? Vertical, sorry. The vertical is 6.25 inch, but the horizontal display totals 6.4, almost 6.5. Yeah, it's a little annoying to carry around a phone that large, but you want something for navigation. If you had one of those with Android, as they all come with Android, using Magic Earth specifically, then you get something as good as this. But I don't want to switch phones. My phone works. I really like it. And I prefer the Garmin interface, hence why I stick with it. And yeah, I'll do a video on why I still use GPS in 2021. But anyway, I got this. It works. The thing just works. That's what I want. I want it to work. And so far it is. Now the DriveSmart 50, I actually have two of them. I have one and I bought another as a backup. If this actually works out well enough, then I might seek out a second one. Or, you know, I might even get a DriveSmart 65. I might even go for the 65. In my compact car, this actually does fit. Amazingly. It's not as... it is smaller than the DriveSmart 65. The 65 is large physically. It's just... it's... borderline too large for a small car. Getting close. I think basically it is. Whereas this 6-inch display, which is not a 6.95 like the 65, it's just a 6 diagonal. In my compact car, which is more or less Corolla, it's a Corolla-sized car, is what it is. I don't drive a Corolla, but it's around about that size. This actually works out quite well. So I wasn't annoyed to use it. I can read it easier, which was the whole point. Yeah, sorry, I'm bouncing around a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, why I still use one of these in 2021? Mainly because I use a 5-inch phone. I don't want to switch to a 6.4-inch display. I had a 6-inch phone before. I hated it. It's not that the phone, the interface that I hated. It's carrying it around. I mean, I wear jeans. I'm a dude. I wear jeans, okay? And putting that in the pocket, oh, God, forget about it. You serious? Back or front, does not matter. And I'm not about to carry a book bag wherever I go. I mean, I could, I suppose. Why? Didn't have to do that before. Don't want to do it now. Maybe I sound like old man yapping, but well, I'm not that old, but it's annoying. It's very annoying. You remember when we had flip phones and how easily they fit in the pocket? You could, when you folded it together, clamshell phone, it became half its size and you could throw it in your pocket and it was great. Oh, those things. And yeah, you could still get flip phones, but the problem with a flip phone is the camera sucks on it. The camera is terrible. There's no good flip phone there's no flip phone with a decent camera on it. Not like a Samsung Galaxy. Oh, hell no. Even the cheapest Galaxy is better than any flip. Now, I know there are flexible displays now. But they're like $400, $500, $600. I'm not spending that. No. So I stick with this. So for the display, I have the DriveSmart 60. That works out fine. And even if, now my car does not have an electronic screen in it like newer cars, but even if it did, let's just say it was like a modern new car, they all come with a 7-inch screen minimum now. Well, there's a problem with that. On a lot of those cars, Google Maps, or let's just say you don't use Google Maps. Let's just say you use Magic Earth, or here we go. A lot of them will not take up the full display properly. It literally depends on the car. So it's almost a mandatory requirement now that if you're going to buy a new car, which I don't think is a good idea, but let's just say you're going to buy a new car, or a newish car even, 2-3 years old, you have to pair your phone with it just to test the screen to see if your navigation app is going to work properly in this stupid car. Else, you're going to have to get one of these. Or you're just going to have to use your phone. I mean, it's the brave new world? Yeah. Terrible. Okay, not everything's terrible, but the tech. It's like, and no one likes car nav systems either. So it's, anyway, and yet another reason why I just, I will continue to use this for as long as I can, because is it worth it? Yes, it's totally worth it. Stick with it as long as you can. Update the maps and just drive happy. So for the time being, assuming this one doesn't blow up on me, so far it's running pretty good since I threw another battery in it. I'm a happy camper.